Everybody, welcome back to Breakfast with Bob from 70.3 World Championships in beautiful Taupo. My name is Bob Babbitt, brought to you by HOKA, Fly Human Fly, Master Spas, SFuels, Right Fuel, Right Time, Deboer Wetsuits, Quintana, and of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. We've now raised $180 million to keep challenged athletes in the game of life through sport. Our next guest, the king of New Zealand and of Taupo in particular. He has won Ironman New Zealand 12 times. Mr. Cameron Brown joins us. When you hear that number, does that even freak you out?
Yeah. It's I think I spent sort of 25 years of my life, either at Ironman New Zealand when I was in Auckland. And
yes.
So and watching the race before that as a junior when I was up in Auckland and at St Heliers, and that was my love and passion, and that's what started me into Ironman. I always wanted to do this race at some point in my life, and that happened in 1997 when I did my first one in Auckland.
And first one in 90. And now was that as an age group or as a pro?
That was pro. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Right from the beginning.
Yep.
And so, what was from watching that race? Is that what got you into triathlon?
Yeah. I went to Pakuranga College, and we had a really good triathlon squad there. And a teacher there, Patsy Lambert, she was just really gotten behind the sport. That was 1987.
Yes.
So we had Rick Wells and Aaron Baker.
Oh my God! Yes.
Winning the World Championships in '87. So triathlon was on a high. Every race was sponsored by a beer company, so it was.
It was a hot sport.
Yeah, and it was party central. You did these triathlons and then
had a beer,
had a beer afterwards.
With your buddies.
Yep, and it was fantastic. And because of Aaron and what Rick did on the world stage, the sport just grew and grew, and and it's continued to grow with so many other great athletes throughout the last 30 years.
What's always been interesting to me is it's so difficult to peak multiple times in a season, and you would win New Zealand in March, and Kona's in October.
Yeah.
Right. In Kona, you got 2 seconds, 2 thirds, a fifth, an eighth, 17th, 22nd. But was it? And also, you're doing a lot of other races in between.
Yep.
Was it hard to peak? Because if you're racing in March, it means you're training December, January, February at least.
Yep.
So you're ready for that. You're from New Zealand. That's an important race.
Yep.
And then trying to be ready again in Kona had to be tough.
Yeah, it was. But I always had mini breaks throughout the year. After New Zealand, I'd have a couple of weeks off.
Yeah.
And back then you could recover quickly, get back into it. Then my next peak was always Ironman Germany. I always wanted to go and race the best there.
Right.
Whether it was either in Frankfurt or Roth. And then the third peak was Hawaii. I just those are my 3 peaks. I did a lot of other races in between, but they were
it.
Whatever happened in those races. I didn't care about them. They were just little goals to have alongside,
during training along the way.
Yep, and just to keep you occupied and active and motivated. So, but this was a major race for me every year. My sponsors had fantastic sponsors, and it was if you won this race, then you could set your season up after this, and
So 12 wins, 5 seconds, 3 thirds, so 20 times on the podium at the same race.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody. I'm trying to think about somebody who is that, who has done that besides yourself.
Yeah, Mark Allen at Nice at 10 times.
He won, but I don't think he won 10. But I don't know if I don't think he ever lost there.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
No. So it was pretty cool, pretty special, and it'll take an athlete to start winning here at sort of
now.
24, 25 at a young age, and guys
what
are
was
starting.
Your first win, how old were you?
So I was 28 or 29. So it was 2001. So I would have been 29. Sorry, 29.
So your first wins when you were 29.
Yeah.
The odds on continuing to do that when you're like in your late 30s.
Yeah.
Who are your biggest battles with here?
You always had someone good that would come down.
Yeah, of course.
Whether it be Norman Stadler, Thomas Hellriegel, Tim Deboer, all would go on to win Kona world champions. Peter Sandvang had a fantastic battle for him in 2001 when I caught him.
Right here.
Yep, a K and a half to go, and he had a 12-minute lead that day, and he didn't think anyone was going to catch him, and
Then you got him.
Got him just, So that was my first win, so that was very, very special.
So one of the races that always impressed me was the first ever Ironman Melbourne, 2012. Here's Crowe coming off of 70.3 Worlds, coming off of breaking the course record in Kona in 2011, and then it's the first ever Ironman Melbourne, and it was, I think, the impression I got from Crowe was that you weren't on the start list, but they shortened this race.
Yep. So we had a major storm come through here,
Yeah.
and this race has been twice. It's happened where it's been shortened. So
Right.
that day it ended up being a 90k bike ride and a 21k run. So I always peak, and so 3 weeks later was Ironman Melbourne. So
Yes.
I was lucky to get on the start line. Went across there, and sort of.
You had a battle.
Yeah, it was
That
fantastic.
was what a classic battle, because Crowe went 7:57 and you went like 8 hours and 12 seconds.
Yeah.
I know.
Still haunts
and it was
me.
a long course, right?
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
Crowe
yeah.
goes, ask Cam, because I think the course was long.
Yeah, I think I got 42.5 on the Garmin. So
yeah.
So, but hey, if I'd known, none of the Aussies were telling me that I was so close to going under 8 hours. So, and I knew I could have, but I thought, hey, I've got second in the bag. So,
Right.
And that
Well, and
stage,
it wasn't always that, because Nico was there and Freddie Van Leerde was there.
Yeah,
It was a battle.
Oh, we did it. Yeah, and they were close behind as well. So we were. And Crowe, I think I don't know if he was wearing a watch, but he kept asking me what we were running.
Oh, did he
so
really?
So I had to keep saying, yep, we're running. I think he ran a 2:38.
He did. He
and
ran
I
2:38.
Yeah.
It's
So
2:38.45.
Yeah. So
And we're talking before plated shoes.
Yep.
When I looked at the 4:24, 50:33, 7:57, 2:38 marathon.
Yeah.
That was,
Yep.
and especially starting off the season.
Yes. Yeah.
I always felt that from Craig's perspective, when I looked at that, I was like, okay, you did a world class. You were 38. You had a world class effort to win 70.3 Worlds, and then you won Ironman Worlds, and broke the course record.
Yeah.
Then 6 months later, just had a side by side Iron War type battle with you guys.
Yeah.
He said you guys were together like 35K.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of put him over the edge.
Yeah, you said that ruined him.
I think it did.
Yeah. So that put him over the edge, and it was even for me. I think I got plantar fascia after that race, because we ran on
I was canted.
Yeah, and it was a very small margin from the gutter of the footpath, and the cones where the cones were, it was only sort of a metre. So we were forced onto that camber.
Oh.
So for 18 months I had plantar fascia after that. So
So besides the fact you don't get the win and you don't get under 8 hours, you had to come away with an injury as well.
Yeah, but I mean, it was one of those things, an injury where you can still control, and I could still train and run, so it was fine. It was just an annoying injury.
I remember I think we posted a photo recently from Kona, and I think it was Peter Reed, Tim DeBoom, and you.
Oh, yeah.
Running on Elite E-Drive. That was pretty damn cool.
Yeah. Oh, that was fantastic. Yeah. And it was always, I think we ran out at sort of 5:15.
5:15 pace.
Mile pace, and I had to let them go sort of 8-9k into the run. It was just like
ridiculous. Yeah.
You guys are going a little bit too quick for me. So I'll try and come back later, but I didn't. They were,
So you were mentioning that you're dealing with heart issues. How long ago did you realize something was going on?
Well, we're sort of looking back at it now, and I started having these panic attacks in these swims. The first one was here.
Really?
And
during a race?
Yep, during a race, and it was sort of in cold water. It was the first race here in December. When it was a half Ironman, and I think it was the first one I ever had. And then after that, it sort of started reoccurring quite often, and probably the last straw was Roth. I went up there and did the race there, and I was almost going to come home the week before the race, because I had another one in a short course triathlon I did there, and then so I thought, is it panic attacks or is it something else? And then went to the cardiologist, and it was a atrial fibrillation, and so I had a cardioversion to kick it back in, and then 3 months later I had a ablation, and that was in February this year, and
it's been okay since.
It's been fantastic. So
no defibrillator, no pacemaker.
No.
Wow.
Yeah. So I've sort of given up on the racing sort of side. I think now. I mean, I can race if I want to.
But mainly you've done a lot of races.
Yeah, I've done.
How many races do you think you've done?
I mean, I think 60 or 70 Ironmans and
60, 70 Ironmans.
Yeah, but I started the sport when I was 14, back in 86, 87.
60, 70 Ironmans.
Yeah, so
wow.
I think Mikey Cheveril from Switzerland, he just did 100. So yeah, I'm well down on him, but yeah, still enough, and I've got to the stage where I'm just loving the training, getting on the gravel bike a lot, and just I'm still swim bike and running, most days and everything, and keeping fit and training at a school in New Zealand, up in Auckland, and loving that, and getting into my coaching, so really enjoying that, and seeing and pushing other athletes. So
well, and you look at the heritage here with Bevan Doherty and Hamish, and then obviously Hayden.
Yes.
And what are your impressions of Hayden?
Oh, he's
a rock star.
He's a
right?
class act, and he's just generally a great guy, and he's got a good chance of winning on
no
Sunday.
Question.
So,
I mean, freaking silver medal in the Olympics.
Yep,
and
yep.
I wonder, when I was watching that race, I'm going, that race was moved to the afternoon, which means these guys weren't really training for heat.
No,
right?
And it was a hot day that day.
It turned out to be a hot afternoon, and Hayden is leading, and all of a sudden here comes Alex. And I'm like, I wonder if that was in the morning. Does Hayden hold him off?
Yeah. And he'd come from Andorra, which high altitude, so it's probably a lot cooler up there. And so in Paris, it can get hot. So it was but it was a fantastic race to watch.
What did the doctors say in terms of what you should or should not do?
At this stage, he's given me the green light to do anything I want.
You want,
Yep. So I've got to have another checkup and check on the heart, see how it's doing later on, probably next year. And just to avoid that real high heart rate stuff, really. So I'm just enjoying the long runs. And
it's interesting. 2 days apart, Dave Scott had open heart surgery, and Tinley had heart surgery, and we've obviously John Howard has a pacemaker. Welchie, we know what happened there. And my philosophy, and I had a doctor on my show just talking about how I think we are the first generation of athletes who, our parents didn't have a resting heart rate of 40 and a high heart rate of 150, 160. What did the doctor have any sense of what?
Well, he's a triathlete as well. So
what did he say?
I mean, I think it's the epidemic of triathlon. We have it in rugby and gridiron with concussions.
Right.
That's the problems they have, and I think this is the issue
Same
we're going to have.
Thing.
Yeah, this is the issues we're going to have with long distance endurance sports. So I think people just have to be wary of. This could happen, and it happens to a lot of people. And but I was reading a study in the all the Finnish cross country skiers, and most of them up there are
they having the same issues?
Yeah, have atrial fibrillation,
and
it's just. I mean, you could walk down the street, and most person in their 80s and 90s will have atrial fibrillation, wouldn't even know.
Because it wouldn't have. Yeah.
So it is a scary thing, part of our sport that and that's where I think when you're sick, don't race, because you just can those viruses can have a real bad effect on your heart, and can stress you out for a long period afterwards. So
one of my buddies, this guy who started spinning, his name is Johnny G, started the spinning, and I started thinking when he ended up with heart issues, how many times he flew to Brazil or flew whatever and got on the spin bike and was 200 heart rate, and then got a little cold or something, and then flew somewhere else and did it again. I think you're absolutely right with that part of it is getting a little cold, a little infection of some sort, and next
stressing
thing you know,
the heart out again. And I mean, we've seen guys like Steve Larson, died running around the track, and we've had a great athlete, Tony Hagen here, who passed away. So athletes have to be wary of it and be careful.
I also look at Welchie and go, okay, from 89 to 99, he was doing Ironman stuff during our summer, and then coming back down here and doing International Triathlon Grand Prix, hot 20-minute races, high heart rate, and doing those. And so he basically, in 10 years, he had 20 seasons of two different styles of racing, both of them pushing it hard to the maximum.
And it's just not, I mean, rowing is a classic sport as well, where a lot of heart issues occur, and long distance running.
I guess it's just, these are all new sports where people are doing at a higher level than they've ever done before.
And now we're getting masses of participation-wise. We've got 6,000 athletes here, and so most marathons. And if they don't prepare well for those events, then those events can stress them out. At a high level. So
So one of my favorite moments, and obviously this is no big deal now, but when you were handed a cell phone when you're right, and I think you just became a dad.
Yes, a few months before.
And Mike Riley comes in, you're sitting you just gotten second at the Ironman World Championship, comes over, gives you a cell phone. And
I was talking to Jenny, my wife, back home, and so we handed the phone, and back then weren't too many mobile phones around, and I was trying to explain to my wife Jenny that I was working out in my head how much I'd won, because the the US dollar at that stage was we were at 39 cents. So,
oh my God!
So I doubled my prize money and ended up nearly as much as Tim Deboer who won the event. So
that's
yeah,
very
so
cool.
it was a good payday, but yeah, it was one of those special moments that it was in Mike Riley's book as well. And, yeah,
Craig talked about the fact that race in Melbourne, Jenny was on the press truck with
Neri,
with Neri, the two of them were on the truck. You guys are battling 35K.
Yeah.
When did he get it? So he got away like last 5K?
I think it was 37, 38 Ks, I think. Yeah. It was just, I'd surged and then he surged and he got that last gap and that was enough to break me.
Boom.
And the rubber band broke and slowly he pulled away. So, yeah.
So what are you coaching? What's your...
Yeah, so just at a school and been there for the last 2 years coaching St. Kennigan College in Auckland.
Nice.
And just, growing my individual athletes as well and looking forward to seeing how they've got a couple of athletes here racing.
Athletes racing here.
Yep. So
age groupers.
Yes. Yep. So looking forward to seeing how they go and push them and yell at them. So that's going to be fantastic.
It's funny as a coach. It's like coach/therapist, right? Because it's not just the workouts. It's how do they balance family and friends and work and all the rest of that and still get the most out of this silly sport.
Yep. And it's easy for a professional athlete because most of them don't have kids.
No.
Don't have jobs. Our job is our sport.
Right.
And so for
get a massage.
Anytime you want. You're in bed at
8:30.
At night. Having nana naps all the time. So, and most age group athletes can't do that. They're full time, 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours a week at work, family commitments. So I'll take my hat off to them. And so that's part of the preparation that a lot of athletes and coaches you've really got to look at and get right.
Have you had athletes who come to you and you're like, this is going to be a challenge, and then next thing you know, they're sort of surprising you with what they do?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. I've got some great little kids that I'm working with and trying to push them, and but it's all about having fun. And if you don't have fun in the sport, then you're not going to last long in the sport. So
you loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You don't race that many times if you don't love it.
No. And I've got this picture of Mark Allen as one of those ones, the Nike ones, kick butt. I think it's if you can't go fast. I forget what the writing on the bottom is, but I've had it for like 30 years, so I've got it in the car. He's here, so he's gonna.
You're gonna have him sign it for you.
Yep. So it's been in my garage, and so it's gonna go be hung up after I get him to sign it this weekend.
I love it.
Looking forward to it.
Cam, so good to catch up with you, and I'm sure. Having 6,000 people come here to Taupo.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
And people have been waiting for so long.
Yeah, 4 years, since COVID. So the town has been ready and. We've had the path widened, and the weather's going to be good for Saturday and Sunday, so it's going to be a fantastic event, and looking forward to cheering everyone on.
And it'll be nice for you not to have to race.
It is. Yeah, there's a bit of
I'm
me
sure
that will want,
like you want to
but I know that there's going to be a lot of hurt going on, and
a lot of hurt.
Yeah,
so thank you, buddy, for taking time.
Thanks, Bob.
Cam Brown has been our guest again. Breakfast with Bob, 70.3 World Championships, beautiful Taupo. Hold on, we'll be right back.